Welcome to Pro Tool Reviews. What I have for you today is Metabo HPT's DV36DC half-inch cordless hammer drill. Comes with tons of power, it's a 36-volt tool, and I can't wait to check it out. Let's open this box up. Before I tear open this box, let's see what it can tell us about the tool. Lifetime tool warranty, 2-year battery warranty. Comes as a 36-volt tool, 1,400 inch-pounds of max torque, 2,200 RPM no-load speed, 2 batteries, and a charger. We have a really nice solid hard case. User manual. Let me read that if you have any questions on the use of this tool. Batteries. And we have 2 of those, so 2 batteries. Nice rubber overmold over the bottom of the base of the battery here. We have 2 buttons on the sides that we would use to remove the battery from the tool. We have a battery indicator. We just press this button and it gives us an idea of how much power we have. So we have 2 bars out of 4 on this particular battery. And again, it works on both the 36 volt and 18 volt Metabo HPT systems. So 2 batteries, charger. So this charger is rapid charger. It does come with a little additional functionality where you got a USB charger on the side of it. To activate that, you'd hit the USB button, plug your device in, and you'd be able to go and charge up your device out in the field. Handle for those big drilling operations where you have additional torque. I'm gonna go ahead and use that later. And pocket clip, so we can install that. It has a screw and a bit in there as well. And our drill. This is what we've been waiting for. With a battery, this weighs about 5.5 pounds. Without a battery on here, it feels pretty balanced. Let's go ahead and put one on. Yeah, with that battery on there, yeah, it's a large tool, but it's also heavy duty tool, but yet, given the amount of power it has, it is pretty compact, not very large, really considering what it can do. Now, we do have a all metal half-inch chuck. So an all metal half-inch chuck. The tool transmission right here is all metal as well. We do have a 22 position torque settings here, so we can turn this up to 22 and then give it a little further turn. It gives us a drilling only mode, and then one more turn and it gives us a hammer mode. So that's how we go from fastening to drilling to hammering. Trigger, and our forward and reverse shuttle is we would expect it to be above the trigger. Easy to manipulate that. It does have a really good feel with all this rubber overmold. Everywhere you see black is actually a rubber overmold material, which actually protects the tool, but also will protect your work surfaces so when you set this tool down from marring. Here's your transmissions. So you got 1 and 2. That is a physical button on the top of the tool here. And let's see what else is on the tool. Let's go ahead and put a battery on, see what that LED light looks like. So there you go. We got an integrated LED light in the base of the tool. Looks like it does a decent job of illuminating up where we'd be doing the business end, the work of the tool. It does feel pretty torquey actually. Our top speed, we're spinning at 2,200 RPMs. When we go into hammer mode, this will give you 33,000 impacts per minute. So that's a lot of impacts per minute and should help you get those fasteners and screws into your concrete without too much trouble. So let me go ahead and install the handle on here. So you can install it either direction. So you'd loosen your handle up, open this up like this, and you just simply do this by just turning the handle, which opens up the end over here. Then I would slip this over the collet and then go ahead and turn the handle until it's secured onto the front of the drill. Now there's a lot of positions we can position this. I'm right-handed, so I would prefer to use the drill where my control finger's on this side and my supporting hand is my left hand, so I'd install it something like this. Now if you're left-handed, you do the opposite of that. And what's nice with this handle is I can loosen this up, and as you can see, there's a bunch of different positions you can actually mount this handle, and those interact with this little bit larger spot that's machined into the metal of the transmission housing here. So I can put this handle this way, I can put it vertical above the tool like this and use it in this kind of manner. If I'm left-handed, I can put it on this side, I can put the handle on the bottom side as well. So depending on what you're needing to do or to get the most optimum or comfortable position, you can position this handle in any number of ways. And yet even with it on the bottom, it's still out of the way, have access to the trigger, and should be able to have some really great control. Now, this does have some really large drilling capacities, and we're gonna get to that in just a moment, so let's go give it a try. This drill comes with a variety of capacities. It's up to 7/8 of an inch in concrete, so in hammer mode, we got up to 7/8 of an inch of capacity. In hole saws, we can do up to a 4 5/8 inch hole saw, so pretty big hole saw there, 4 5/8 of an inch. I'm gonna go ahead and run that. And for fun, I'm gonna go ahead and do a 2 9/16 inch boring bit, just to see how fast it chips through the wood. It's a bit we commonly use for testing other drills. And up to 3/4 of an inch in steel. Now, I don't have a 3/4 inch drill bit handy, but I do have this 1/2 inch one, and I do have some plain steel. We're gonna see what that does as well. So let's go ahead and give this a try. The first hole we're gonna drill is a 4 5/8 inch hole saw. It's a pretty big hole saw, so I went ahead and attached the torque handle as well to make sure that we can keep control of the tool and try to drill a good hole. So let's give this a try. So we did it. And what we saw there was a great deal of torque that comes with using a hole saw this large. This is a big hole to drill, not something you're normally gonna do every day, but something that you definitely wanna practice and prep for. So for this next test, I'm gonna go ahead and use a 2 9/16 inch self-feed bit. These are nice because it actually draws the bit through the material and you don't really have to put a lot of pressure on the tool in order to drill the hole. I'm gonna go ahead and drill this in low speed and see how it does. All right, no real issue getting through the material there. I am curious to see what it does in high speed. So what happened here is, one, my wood split out a little bit, but that's okay. Two, it didn't make it through on its first try. This really is designed in this application for probably drilling in low speed. It's not to say that this can't drill in high speed, and maybe some materials you can, but you're definitely gonna wanna match your material with your bit and the speed of your tool. So for this test, what I'm gonna do is use a 1/2 inch high-speed drill bit. I'm gonna go ahead and load this into my drill, lock it in the chuck. I'm gonna use it on high speed, as it should be able to get through this material on high speed, and this is 3/16 inch thick old roll steel. Add a little bit of oil here to cool and lubricate as we drill this hole. And there you have it. We got through that without too much trouble, and that was all in high speed. All right, for our last test, we're gonna use a 3/4 inch masonry bit. Now this bit has been around for a while. I think we've had it in our tool collection for about 25 years, so no telling how this is gonna behave, but I think it's worth a shot. I'm gonna only drill it to about 2 inches deep. We don't need to go through this and into the concrete floor below it. It's just to demonstrate, can the tool do it and how quickly does it drill. Make sure the drill is set into hammer mode. I am gonna do this in high speed. And here we go. And no issues there with using our masonry bit. Again, this is really a basic bit, and had no issues drilling that hole in this concrete. So what I did with my testing today is I wanted to show you kind of what are some of the extremes that this drill can handle. When I looked at the capacities of the size holes that it can drill, I was like, let's try that out with the largest bits that I had here sitting in our shop. So this 4 9/16 inch hole saw is a big hole saw, something you're not commonly gonna drill with. And if you saw something, you might have saw it bind up just a little bit when I was doing that hole. That's actually a good thing. It bound up, but then stopped. And that's by design. And that's something that they're calling reactive force control. And I'll try to demonstrate that now for you so you can see the tool in action. It's in high speed, and I'm gonna go ahead and jerk the tool like this, and the tool will shut off. It's not me playing with the trigger, the tool's doing it. It's sensing the motion. I'll do that again. And with that quick jerk, what's happening is the tool is sensing when it's too much torque or something's binding up. And so instead of causing injury to you or twisting your wrist or damaging your workpiece, the tool's gonna shut off before damage can occur. That's something that I saw when I was using the hole saw. I also saw it with a self-feed bit as well. When I drilled it in low speed, no issues. It went right through the material without issue. Again, that's a high torque application, so we went a little slower. When I tried to do it in high speed, it was able to do it, but it did time out. It did torque out. And again, that's not a bad thing. It's there to protect your workpiece, your tool, and your hands. So we saw that demonstrated there as well. Now when we got to drilling concrete and steel, no issues there, had no issues. It said it can handle up to 3/4 of an inch. In steel, I had a 1/2 inch. I do believe it would do it. Again, is this the actual tool you'd always use that for? Probably not. For most people, for the types of fasteners and the type of drilling you're gonna do, this is gonna be more than adequate, especially for the masonry bit here. You know, this is a 7/8 inch masonry bit. Not common. You're probably gonna break out a rotary hammer once you start really having to do big holes. But again, very capable tool to do that. And those 3,300 impacts per minute is really what helped that sink that bit fast in the concrete. If you're curious how this drill might compare to other flagship tools from other companies, you're gonna have to wait until we either do some head-to-heads or our overall larger review of multiple tools where we actually do our standardized testing. This is just to give you a quick idea of, hey, it's capable, it's able, and maybe something you might wanna consider. Now, if you bought in the Metabo HPT tool lineup, whether it's 18 or 36 volt, this is something you might want to consider if you don't have a flagship hammer drill. This is definitely capable and something, you know, for $299 is a good deal. Remember, it comes with 2 batteries, a charger, and the tool. You can get it at Acme Tools, Amazon, or anywhere that Metabo HPT tools are sold. I'd love to know your thoughts on this tool. I'd love to know what hammer drills that you use. What's the biggest hole maybe that you've done with your hammer drill? Leave me a comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to our channel, do that so you don't miss out on any of these reviews and news that comes out about tools. And as always, thanks for watching.